Hello, everyone. Happy Memorial Day. Welcome to our podcast. We've got a very special guest with us who I had the pleasure of meeting his acquaintance at our big Connect, Convert, Close thing in Tampa, our seminar. We've got LaVar Harper with us from Visquanta, up-and-coming company and a really solid guy. LaVar, man, it was just a pleasure meeting you and hanging around with you in Tampa. Looked like you had a good time, and I had a good time learning about what you're doing. How about telling everybody else about what you and Visquanta does and what you're excited about for the future?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Larry, Michael, and Gary for having me. Visquanta, essentially, most BDCs or sales team, they lose anywhere from 80 to 90% of their internet leads due to inability to connect. Visquanta's AutoMaster suite, we simply solve that issue by re-engaging these unresponsive leads, improving marketing spend or recouping marketing spend, and boosting profits. So let's take, if you were to take 1,000 leads and at 30% is the minimum of what our stores are seeing, re-engagement rate. So that's 300 contacts that are re-engaged. If we book anywhere from 5 to 20% back onto the sales calendar. So if we take 10%, that's 30 leads. If the dealership is able to close one out of those 30, that's an additional, $3,000 if that's what the ticket profit, per sale is for every 1,000 leads. And that's essentially what Visquanta does. We do have a suite of products. There's 3 of them that are included. You have lead loss mitigation, which is kind of what I just touched on, re-engaging 30% of the leads, speaking to them in a two-way conversation, so it's human-like and not robotic. And then you have our speed to lead. Speed to lead is what instantly engages leads, incoming leads across all channels. And if you have a 5-minute or more response rate, this is going to improve your conversions by 900x. The last solution in our suite is reputation management, which prompts unhappy customers to management, and it prompts the happy customers to leave a review, allowing the dealership to get ahead of factory surveys and improve CSI scores. So that's, Visquanta AutoMaster suite in a bundle, and then we can also go into like custom campaigns, KDB, ICO stuff, integrating with Auto Trader, JD Power, and such. But that's that's Visquanta.
So LaVar, look, you're like a warm blanket around their leads, because you guys basically coach, or your services are basically keeping that communication more in touch, or handling the leads that most people don't want to handle, and handling, and you guys do it with what, email campaigns or videos?
This is all SMS, and then the speed to lead aspect is either Facebook ads, DMs. If you're running Instagram stuff, it's Instagram ads in the DMs, and then chat widget. It's also a chat widget where instead of us, because we've A/B tested this, instead of us having the lead conversation on the chat widget, we get them to give us their contact information first, and then we transition that to SMS. So if a lead is on your store's website widget, 9 times out of 10 they have other ones up. So if you get the answer, I'm just going to close it and then move on to the next, right? So instead of that happening, we get that contact information and then have that conversation through SMS.
So you engage them more to gather all that information, as opposed to just a standard response. You guys have a way of just cultivating them to at least wanting to respond and give information, as opposed to just, I don't want to give up any information. So you make it softer. You make it easier.
Correct. I was trying to explain this off the air earlier is that what separates us is that the reason why we have a 30% or more re-engagement rate on these unresponsive leads is because of the strategic way in which we follow up. It's the message, the message type. Like it may have some humor in there. It catches them, differently and not what they would normally receive with the
right. Not the bashing, of the repetitiveness and come
right.
on down, and they have a different way of getting into that consumer's brain as opposed to the old bashing them over the head. So that's I'm because I've been curious of learning more about what you do in your program, and that now because they need that, because it's the old it's the hammer, the velvet hammer, or doing it the right way, and they've lost their way. So you guys provide a service to kind of get everybody on track the right way.
Right. That's exactly it. And then those that are not on track, because we have stores where we're pushing over X amount of leads and they're not converting as well as some of our other stores. So what we do in that case is our sales team and our case management team, we travel to that store and we have an in-house training. Like, okay, what do we need to do to allow you guys to convert more of our leads? Like, how do we get on the same level and allow you to use this more efficiently?
Well, that's urgent because a lot of times dealers install programs or systems, have no idea what the heck they're doing. They get discouraged and then it all falls by the wayside. It's like everything else. If it's not nurtured and it's not clear, hey, I have your back and you have my support, I think anything can fail. On the other hand, if you nurture things and you're there to support the people, you can make just about anything work.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Onboarding today is just so important, and that because of that, there's so many good programs that have been brought to market that have failed miserably because of execution. And it seems like what you guys are doing is you're going right in. You guys aren't converting, and we need to get right into figuring out what's wrong, because these are in a different environment. These are good leads. These leads should convert. Why aren't they converting here? And so now you guys are boots on the ground. You have a lot of training, and you guys will go into the stores and work. Are you working with the BDCs, or are you you're generally looking at the whole store? LaVar froze.
Well, right now,
yeah, you're back.
Okay, so yeah, it's both actually. One other thing that I didn't mention is what's in beta right now is our Service Drive Pro. So this Quanta, our mission is to be that one-stop shop for the dealership, and improve efficiencies on the sales and the fixed side. So Service Drive Pro is a hybrid model. It's voice and text. So those that need that are scheduled for service, it can contact them, get them into get them into the bay. And if the dealership is overwhelmed with incoming calls, those that are about to have their calls missed, the AI picks up, has a knowledge base, understands the services, understands the average prices for the services, and can relay these simple, inquiries to
how much is it for a brake job? How much is it for this? How much is it for that? And as opposed to getting a lot of pushback, they get the information that they're looking for via in a text or a voice.
Correct.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And if they want to get routed to a live person, then the AI can do that as well.
So the Service Drive has definitely been since for the last 5 years now, with everything that's going on. there's such opportunity in the service drive that's been neglected forever. And those have been the people that I'm learning more and more about what's going on in the service drive, because it seems that is the gold mine. It's either you can buy the customer's car or trade them out, or you can sell them a service contract if they're buried. So now with your system, it's just that's where the activity is, and that's where the lead sources are coming from, more than people wanting them. But they're not looking to buy a car right now. They're looking to keep their cars running, and they need service. Service is booming.
Yeah,
and Garrett, I've had the pleasure of talking to Chris Wilson from Quanta and William Voles. Everybody's enthused. Everybody's easy to reach. They're doing a startup the right way. They're making themselves accessible and enthused, and making it clear that they're happy to work with people.
That's wonderful. Well, we need more of that today.
LaVar, I got a question for you. As I'm looking at the whole industry as a whole, I'm noticing that many of the vendor partners out there, and some of them are vendors, some of them, depends on how you define it, but so those that are servicing the car industry as a whole, I'm noticing that many of the products that are coming out are dealing with the inside of the dealership's funnel. In other words, those that have already engaged. And would you say that you're on that top of the funnel kind of aspect where you're primarily dealing with the follow-up of those who didn't take action after that engagement? In other words, they engage, and then the BDC says, hey, we tried, and then a lost leader, and then you come in and remedy that lost leader.
That's a great point you pull up. So what we're seeing is stores, it's gonna vary. Some stores may see leads fall off after 7 days, 14 days, 30 days. Whatever that happens, okay, if your BDC team is reaching them for the first X amount of days and then they fall off, the point they fall off is where we want to come in.
Okay, right, okay. Yeah, so do I don't need to know the particulars of the business, but do they supply you with that data that here you go, here's that lost leader list or lost lead list, go for it and do whatever you can to get them back and into our funnel?
Correct. So once we integrate with the CRM, whichever CRM they're using, we get this data from them. And as we re-engage them, we push that back to the CRM. So if it's a duplicate lead, then that goes to the response, to the responsible, staff member, and they get the notification, they get the conversation history along with the notes that the AI pulls out and says, okay, these are all of the key points of this conversation. This is what you need to focus on when they come in to the store.
You weren't listening to the sale. So the AI will pick up on all that.
Repeat that one more time for me.
As where with the AI picking up the conversation, when you're re-listening to those feedback, you now know that the customer is more interested in safety as opposed to luxury, as opposed to appearance. So I'm correct. Is that AI is fantastic because the average salesperson can't pick up on it. And so the AI, when you're listening to it or you're reviewing it as a management, as a team, now you can identify what is the true objection as opposed to trying to close a customer and not know what the true objection is.
Correct. It just makes everything more efficient. Instead of me having to review the entire conversation history it already hands you, what's the most useful.
Yeah, you're not guessing. You're not.
Yeah.
That's what I think. What's that other program? Um, Marty Hugh. I know he Auto Genius. Have you ever seen the Auto Genius program?
I haven't seen the program, but I think I've seen them around though.
Auto Genius is just a very simple, I mean, concept is unbelievable. It's AI listening to the whole conversation in F&I, and then at
Okay.
the end of the conversation, it'll make sure, did the F&I manager meet the compliance requirement? Did they explain the manufacturer's warranty? Did they do so? It basically gives a critique of the conversation and make sure, and then it's a training platform. So that's where AI, where everyone's kind of freaking out about AI, but that's where AI is so cool because it can pick up on everything that we miss as humans. And then it puts it in a format that it makes it easy, and then it creates that conversation as opposed to people fishing for information. I just see it closing the gap. Very easy.
That's simply put. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
How do people reach you, LaVar, if they want to? Because obviously Visquanta is up and coming. I'm going to be doing a bunch of stuff with you. These guys will gladly help. They're two of the best guys you'll meet. If people want to reach out, where do they go?
Yeah, the easiest way is email LaVar@visquanta.com. And I'm always on LinkedIn as well, so you can find me there.
yeah,
Okay, and you can't see it because of his head is in front of the screen. It's VISQUANTA, Visquanta. So LaVar at Visquanta.com.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I can't recommend these guys enough. Again, I've had the pleasure of talking to all of them and spending a good amount of time with LaVar. They care. Their head's in the game. They want to move the industry forward. And they're good people. I mean, what more can you say about a company than those things? Any thoughts, Gary or Michael? And LaVar, it was just a pleasure having you here, man.
No. I love when we bring on people that are just solving problems. And LaVar, I've been seeing you are very active on LinkedIn, and it's good to meet you live, which is great because I like what you're doing. And so I appreciate some of the likes that you're doing on my stuff, but we're providing solutions where we're making it easier. We're not trying to take it and convince you to do something offhanded. This is the basics. It's trying to get the consumer and the salespeople on the same plane, and it seems like Visquanta's got a nice recipe for it. So I plan on looking at your program, and hopefully I get to see it installed in a few stores, and we continue our relationship. So nice meeting you, LaVar.
Michael, any thoughts?
LaVar, I want to reach out to you offline because I kind of want to perk your brain about this funnel idea. And it intrigues me that you're at the top of the funnel. I'm outside the funnel. I'm attracting those people to get inside the funnel. So I'm very looking forward to getting in touch with you. And I thank you very much for attending today.
Yeah. And obviously, LaVar, you and I will be in touch also. We're all going to help any way we can. We appreciate you. We appreciate your company. And thank you, my friend.
My pleasure. Thank you, gentlemen, as well.
All right. Hey, and for all our veterans out there, thank you very much. We appreciate everything. And God bless you, Larry. I see the American. There it is. Red, white,
A country that does not take care of its veterans cannot really call itself a country. We got to do a better job there.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, gentlemen. Have a great
Everybody stay healthy.
Have a great day, guys.